I'm Andrew Phillips. Welcome to my channel. Today I'm going to show you how to fix a microwave oven. So let's go ahead and get started. Before we begin, we go ahead and we unplug the microwave, and that would be with any appliance before you open it or do any service to prevent any kind of shock or electrocution. Always unplug it to play it safe. For this video, the items that you're going to need a multimeter, one that can measure continuity. You're also going to need a regular Phillips screwdriver, a short Phillips screwdriver, and then a 90-degree Phillips screwdriver to get into some tight spots. A lot of times when a microwave stops working, it's the thermal fuse that goes. There can obviously be other things as well that can cause that, but a lot of times it's the thermal fuse, so that's what I'm going to focus on for this video. So in order to do that, we need to access it. First thing we'll have to do is remove this upper vent cover right here. There's some screws along the top that we need to remove. We also need to remove this panel here, which has your display and your touchpad on it. That needs to be removed as well. There's some screws there. I'll show you how to do that. And then behind there is usually where the thermal fuse is located. Also, you have the micro switches right here for the door. We're going to test all of those because in some cases the micro switch can go and that can then cause the short that blows the fuse. So we're going to test all those components so we can diagnose the problem and figure out what needs to be replaced. So let's go ahead and get this off so we can access all of that. Before I go any further, let me just say that the model of microwave that I'm working on for this video is actually a GE microwave. The model number will be listed along the bottom. The whole process of diagnosing it, testing it, and the parts to replace are pretty much universal across many microwaves. That's why I'm doing this as more of a general video. But if you are dealing with a GE microwave, the model number is along the bottom because if that is the same one you're working on, then everything will be in the same placement as shown in this video. And here's the screws here along the top. There's one there, one here, and one here. We're going to remove those so that way we can remove this vent. Okay, the screws have been removed. Gently slide that out. There we go. We can put this down here. And then now we're going to go ahead and remove this. There's a screw that's all the way in here, at least on this particular model. I'll show you where that is. You got to be careful that you don't drop that in there. So that's a little bit tedious. Then we can slide this out. Coming up here on the display panel, there's a little access there, and there's a Phillips screw in there. That's what we will need to remove so we can then slide out this display panel. All right, the screw has been removed, so now what you want to do is you want to push this up. You hear that there? And now gently pull that out. Now be careful because there's wires connected that we're going to have to detach. Bring that out like that. With the panel pulled out, you can see we have to detach that connection, this connection, and then this little harness right here. Once those three are out, then we can remove this entire panel and have full access. Okay, with this pulled out, we're going to gently remove this connection here. Then we get to this one, we're going to go ahead and... Okay, and then now we're going to remove this harness. To do that, let's see if I can pull that more so I can access it. There's a little clip. Push the clip. Gently pull that off. And then now we can remove this panel. Now in here is where the thermal fuses are located, and then you also have the micro switches here, so that's what we're going to be focusing on. So let's go ahead and get a close-up of that and I'll show you. Here's your two thermal fuses here. So we're going to test those for continuity and see which one of those is bad. And then you have your micro switches here, here, and then one up here. We're going to test them as well for continuity so we can see what may have been the culprit that caused that one of these fuses to blow if that is the case. So let's go ahead and get our multimeter together so we can start testing things. Go ahead and set your multimeter to continuity, which is this sound wave right here. So let's go ahead and turn that. Okay, and what we're going to do is just test these two leads together and make sure it's working. Okay, we're good. All right, with the multimeter on continuity, we're going to go ahead and test these two leads. Okay, that one is good. As you heard, we are getting a reading. Now let's test this one. Okay, this one, there is no reading. So that one is definitely burned out, needs to be replaced. Now let's go ahead and test the micro switches for the same thing. I'm going to go ahead and remove these plugs here from the micro switches. Just make sure you remember where they go and which ones they connect to. Pull them off gently. All right, I'm going to remove these two Phillips screws that hold this panel with the micro switches. This is where the short Phillips screwdriver is needed because the other one will be too long. Now to remove it, there's two little lips right here that are hanging on. Slide it up so they pop out, and then just be gentle to work this through all the wires so you don't damage anything. And this whole harness with the micro switches slides right out, and now we can pop them out and test them properly. What holds the micro switch in place is this little clip right here. So what you want to do is just take a screwdriver, a small screwdriver, push that down, but don't break it, and then just kind of work that at the same time, and then it slides out. And basically what that does is that just locks in that hole to hold it in place. And what I did is I put the micro switches in the same order where they were inside of that harness that they were all clipped in. So now let's go ahead and test them. So this one here we'll test first. That one's good. Now these here, I believe we're in the closed position, so we're going to have to push the button down. Good. And the same thing is for this one. Pushing that down right there. Okay, it looks like these micro switches are all good. So the only issue was that thermal fuse. So now let's go ahead and remove it so we can replace it. The fuse is held on by a small Phillips screw in the back. I've already started to get it out, but that's where the 90-degree screwdriver comes in handy, so you can reach around to the back there. Make sure you don't lose that screw. And that's pretty much your thermal fuse right here. We'll go ahead and slide that out, and then we'll put the new one in, screw it in, and we can go ahead and reconnect everything and power it up. Here we have the new thermal fuse. I'm going to go ahead and just do a quick test, make sure it's good before we put it in. Okay, sounds good. I'm going to go ahead and get it all loaded up, and we'll get the microwave fired up. We'll be right back. All right, everything is put back together. Pretty much follow the same steps that we used to take it apart and also to put the fuse back. So that pretty much wraps it up. Please send any questions, any comments you may have regarding this video. As always, I appreciate the support. Please like this video and subscribe to my channel, and we'll see you next time.